City Hall.
And honored to introduce our next recipient of the W. Robert Brown Outstanding Graduate Award. Mr. Sidney Waits was born here in Andalusia. He attended Andalusia High School, graduating in 1942. Following graduation, he attended the University of Alabama, began his studies in finance. World War II caused Mr. Waits to defer his studies, however, and he joined the enlisted reserve and was soon sent to the Army School of Finance in Fort Benjamin, Harrison, Indianapolis, Indiana. Subsequently, he was sent to the Panama Canal, where he served his country during the remainder of the war. Following the war, he resumed his studies at the University of Alabama, but since his father had passed away, he was needed at home, where he returned to manage his family's petroleum business. After marrying Miss Polly Wilder in 1947, he was blessed with 2 children. Mary Oberlin in 1949 and George in 1951, and they're with us today. He was blessed with 10 grandchildren as well. After closing the family business in 1973, he became business manager for Andalusia Peanut Company in Auburn until his retirement in 1987. And during these early years, Mr. Waits was involved in our community greatly. As a member of the First Baptist Church, he was a deacon and was instrumental in obtaining the land where the present church now stands. He was a member of the Rotary Club and served as its president, and was on the board of directors of Andalusia Chamber of Commerce. History has been Mr. Waits' great interest. Over the past 40 years, he's worked tirelessly to preserve and promote an appreciation for the history of this area. His publications include the following: From the Halls of Montezuma, a collection of historical sketches about Covington County and Andalusia; The Three-Notch Road across Covington County; When the Builders Came, relating the early construction of buildings in Andalusia; E.L. Moore and his River Falls Power Company. He co-authored Mysteries of the Montezuma Village concerning the early settlement of the Conecuh River. And he published a historical newsletter for some time that detailed and sent this to more than 200 subscribers with bound copies placed in the library. He and Miss Polly indexed the Magnolia Cemetery and published a detailed inventory, including a map. Presently resides in the Andalusia Public Library. Other contributions include helping obtain the historical signs along the roads of our area, including those designating the Horseshoe Lumber Company in Devereaux Hill, and commemorating the approximate route through the area of Andrew Jackson's Three-Notch Road, constructed in 1824. Mr. Waits' most notable contributions to our community surely have come through his exceptional work with the Covington Historical Society. The society grew out of the Andalusia Public Library History Committee and was organized in 1976. As a charter member of the society, he helped begin the process of collecting historical memorabilia and articles later brought together in the Three-Notch Museum, items otherwise which would have likely been destroyed. The museum is housed in the former Central of Georgia train depot. The depot was obtained, restored, and maintained through the efforts of Mr. Waits and other members of the society. Other items added to the museum in great part as a result of Mr. Waits' efforts include the boxcars, cabooses, River Falls Post Office, the Clark family log cabin, the Ard crib, and H.B. Little country store. The museum is really a treasure for Covington County. I'm going to close with quotes from 2 of the people who suggested that Mr. Waits be honored here today. The first, Sid's enthusiasm for local history and the preservation of it should interest, challenge, and motivate students and adults alike. His love for Andalusia should be inspirational. He's a walking history book, and sometimes history teachers should use in their classrooms to make history come alive for the students. And then secondly, it is with pleasure that I endorse the nomination of Sidney Waits. He's a symbol in Andalusia of homegrown talent, loyalty, and pride. His talent is revealed in his many papers and books about our local history. His loyalty to his alma mater has extended over a lifetime, as has his faithfulness to the First Baptist Church. and to the Covington Historical Society. His pride is obvious in that he stayed home and devoted his years to Andalusia, its traditions, businesses, organizations, heritage, and future. How rich a thread he is in the tapestry of Andalusia High School history. And it's a pleasure for me to present a truly outstanding graduate, Mr. Sidney Waits. What's the son-in-law? Son-in-law. He's not coming.
Thank you, Dr. Wells. I appreciate those kind remarks. And I appreciate all these people that have come this afternoon for this occasion. I'm truly honored, there's no doubt about that. And I feel somewhat uncomfortable following these distinguished gentlemen and this lovely lady that have preceded me. They didn't tell me I was going to have to make it speak, so I don't have one. But I would like to say a few things. I won't go into any more details about the quality of the Andalusia school system because that's already been taken care of. My father served on the local city board over a number of years and on the county board over a number of years. So I remember a whole lot about the schools, the consolidation of the county schools, and of course the growth of the city schools. But I want to mention one thing. I'm sorry that my wife didn't get to come today. She's not well and was not capable of coming, so I missed her greatly. I said I wasn't going into the details about the schools. I attended all the schools, starting off with a little wooden school over on College Street. It faced College Street, and of course the elementary school here, and the one at the Church Street. It was my high school for 3 years. And of course I graduated over at the Andalusia High School. We did have a great faculty and a lot of great teachers, and that's already been pointed out. But we had some fellows that were kind of mischievous too. A couple of them, I think, were in Ed Henderson's class. They were Keltis Powell and Tom Farnell. Do you remember those boys? Well, it was against the law to smoke a cigarette on the campus. And Tom and Keltis was sitting on the steps at the east side of the Church Street School. It was a high school then. And they were smoking cigarettes, and this plume of blue smoke was everywhere. And Jeep had, Mr. Johnson, had just gone to lunch and was returning in his 33 or 34 mile Chevrolet. And as he rounded the curve, he could see that plume of smoke. Well, Tom and Keltis, sensing that, they flipped the cigarettes out on the campus. And Mr. Johnson came in and he walked right over to them and he said, "Boys, whose cigarette is that?" Keltis said, "You saw it first, Mr. Johnson. You can have it." Well, Mr. Johnson reached over and grabbed Keltis by the nape of the neck. He could do that back then. And he took him straight to the office. And Keltis had to call his daddy down to the school to keep Mr. Johnson from expelling him. The other thing that I remember about the high school, we were at commencement exercises. And of course, Mr. Johnson was awarding all of the awards. He talked about the leading band person, you know, and gave a button for that. He talked about the fellows and the girls that were in the glee club, and he passed out those remarks. He just mentioned a half a dozen or more people. And then, of course, he got around to me, and well, I was a little uneasy. But anyway, he said, you know, he had awarded the valedictorian and the salutatorian, all the big awards, and finally he called my name out. And I couldn't figure out what in the world he was going to do. And he said, Sidney Waits has never been tardy. When they mentioned outstanding graduate to me, I thought they were all standing outside, the teachers trying to decide if they're going to give me a diploma or not. But anyway, it's been a great ride. Of course, there's no place like Andalusia. I laugh to tell people I was born and raised here and never had sense enough to leave. Well, of course, I didn't mean that, but they seem to get a kick out of it. But I am deeply honored. I appreciate the award, and I'll try to live up to it. I certainly do appreciate it. I've just been real pleased to see all of you, and many of you are my friends, and I certainly am looking forward to trying to live up to this honor. Thank you.